Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin,
Hi,
Maven,
Hey, y'all.
Erithert,
Hello, everybody.
and Carvet.
At your service and your families.
And this week, Andang has decided to take a week-long sabbatical.
What?
Just kidding.
A week long.
He's not
couldn't
gone
be here.
for a week, is he?
Well, he's gone for today.
Well, today.
He's
So-
gone for
so-
today.
For some
Actually,
people,
I don't know what he's
that's like
doing.
a
He didn't even
week.
say what he was doing. He just said, "I'm not going to be here."
Okay, well, he's not here.
Alright, let's head into our game news. And we'll begin with update 18.2.1, the Stable Master Collection update.
Which is going to be totally cool when it actually is working properly.
Well, at least you could look at which ones you've got.
You can look and see which ones you've got, and one of the functions is working, which is you can click on a Stable Master, and it will tell you all of the places that the Stable Master goes to, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, so if you happen to be like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, like say Entwade, and you're trying to tell somebody the quickest way to get to you from whichever stable master they happen to be closest to, you can say, okay, you need to take this one and this one and this one, and this one goes to Entwade. So, yeah. And apparently you're going to be able to pay Mithril coins for travel, but
Okay,
you can pay Mithril coins anyway. And because in beta, when they did it, it was like 5 Mithril coins to use a stable master, and that's a pretty hefty price to...
Now, was set to certain ones? Because I'm wondering if it's less for some of the closer ones and more for the ones that are way out
I
or
don't
near
know.
cap areas.
I don't know, and that function is currently broken, so...
Yeah.
So does...
Now,
Okay, I'm curious. Is it going to be like a Mithril coin thing, like you can instaport to places using that? Where
You
you're
can instaport to the stable master, yeah.
Oh, that's what they're set up. Okay.
yeah. Now, the
I
other
actually
function
wish
that's
that
broken.
they would have like an alternate function where it would just charge you however much silver it would take you to do all the stable masters in between if you have swift travel unlocked.
See, that's what I would like to see, is if I'm standing in, like, Erd Lewin and I want to get all the way over to Minas Tirith, I can just go to the Stable Master and say, send me there, and then they'll pre-plot my route, and they'll do all the connecting horses, and so all I have to do is autopilot across, and then I won't have to worry about losing my luggage or spending Mithril coin or anything like that. That would be great. You know, I hear that Southbury stable can get kind of crazy with the festivals and stuff going on.
No kidding.
But, you know, Rivendell's not too bad.
Or even like 1 in-game gold to go from any stable master to any other stable master. I'd pay it.
Yeah, I'd pay gold for that. Sure, totally.
Now, on Monday, there is some scheduled downtime to fix a couple of things with the Stable Master Collection, including the Mithril coin thing function, being able to travel with there, and I presume also the map function, which is also not working.
Right. And fingers crossed they don't break anything else in the process.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing in the game news is that we have come to the end of Bingo Boffin.
Yes. So sad.
It's so sad.
This is the end. This is the end
calls
of
us
his story.
We're his best friend, and it's depressing.
It's depressing because
Like,
Sounds kind of
I know.
spoilerific.
Do we wanna go full discussion on this now, or wait for Andang to be here next week?
No, we'll go full discussion on it now. It's his
Cool.
fault that
As you lose
it's
Andang.
his fault that he's not here.
Okay, so if you have a desire not to be blown away by the bingo discussions about to happen, skip ahead a little bit in the podcast
Yeah,
if
so
you're not
spoiler
live.
alert if you
Then
haven't
like
finished bingo.
rewind to try and figure it
I think
out.
we can do it without spoiler alerts.
But yeah.
Well, that would be a bit of a challenge.
I
What
mean,
happens?
We've known he's
Bingo
planning a party. People come to the party.
dies.
That's what
I'm sorry,
happens.
you know
Well,
That's actually sort of how the whole thing gets started.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's-
starts planning a party, and he like last week's quest was him planning the party and us sending out invitations. So it's not like, wait, there's a party.
well, yes, but
I
the
never
entire
saw it coming.
point,
You know.
Yes, but the point is there might be people who haven't even started Bingo Boffin yet.
Okay.
And that's why we're talking. If you want to be able to talk about anything Bingo Boffin, that's where the thing about spoilers and the like.
Gotcha.
Right.
If you don't want to hear about bingo at all, turn back. But yeah, it was nice. This is one of my highlights for this past week. It was really cool to get to see this whole story that we've been with a year kind of wrap up. And a lot of times it was kind of, there's a few times during the story where it was just kind of like, all right, I'm just gonna do, like, I'm doing Bingo Boffin, and like some of the quests were just not particularly spectacular. But
Right.
over the course of the entire year, you actually really do kind of get to really like little Bingo, and he's, he grows on you a lot
Yeah.
over the course of over the year, and to the point where now, like, he's, of course, it probably didn't help that when I streamed it this past Wednesday, and I turned on Billy Boyd's Last Goodbye song. So that probably didn't help the emotional factor.
Oh man, that's
Um,
like trying to turn on a faucet and just handing people tissues. Like, here you go.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Here you go. You get all those emotions from the end of the actual movies and the end of Bingo Boffin, and it's just like, oh, the feels.
There's an emote somewhere that I've seen that I love where it's Billy Boyd's face, and he's like, I don't always sing, but when I do, everyone cries. And
That's about
basically.
right. It's a meme. Yeah.
So it's it was really cool, and like, unsurprisingly, yet another great story from Made of Lions. It's it comes full circle in a way that I wasn't really expecting it to, and it was really satisfying.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, what level was your character that did Bingo Boffin?
Yeah, I was at Cap when I started.
So you were a capped one who had done the Volume 3 epic then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw the version where...
Yes.
Right.
I saw the cool version. I saw the full, complete version that Andane did not see.
Yeah, yes, the version that Andane didn't see.
Yeah. If you guys haven't yet...
yeah, and my video series
Bingo,
does have it.
Oh, okay. So if you want to see the full version, either it'd be on Signum U's Twitch page, so twitch.tv/Signum U, or Pine Leafs. If you want to see the other version, that'd be on Andang. So if you haven't done the epics yet, it'd be on Andang's. It ties beautifully in with the story of a particular character who we meet a few times, and her story comes to completion, we think.
Finally.
No.
Oh jeez.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my favorite parts about it, actually. About that entire Bingo Boffin thing was that little story being incorporated into it is one of my favorite parts about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It almost makes me want to do bingo.
Yeah. Oh, it's.
But only almost.
But you have to do the epic. You have to do the epic.
Yeah, you need to do the epic before that one.
Well,
Volume 3,
I
right?
mean, I could do it on, like, my level cap Terry and go back and do it.
Or if you wanted to just watch somebody else's playthrough and not bother with it yourself. That's another option.
I sort of watched yours.
Yeah, that's true. You were there for a lot of them. But yeah, it was really nifty. And there's one other thing that I'll wait for my week in LOTRO to talk about with Bingo Boffin. A cool little thing that happened.
Anyone else have anything to add on Bingo?
Well, now that it's over, now's the time to go back and binge your way through it, because you can do it.
Oh, yeah. Right, because you don't have to worry about waiting.
You don't have to wait the week for the next episode to be out.
See, you really couldn't binge unless you are, like, either A, at level cap already, or B, you're just intending on playing a gluttony's worth of LOTRO. Because you level pretty fast between
high level if you're going to binge
bingo.
through
Like,
it.
if you were to start at level 1 and try to binge bingo, you'd be playing, like 20 hours a week or whatever to keep up with bingo. Because I find that as we're beard kissing through bingo, we have to stop and pause and do a couple sessions where we're running around, then go back to bingo, and then kind of go back and forth, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah, because until it's about 3/4 of the way through when you hit the when you hit 93 that you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, but that means you can already get to 93. Those first,
So you gotta get
those
all the
40
way up to
weeks.
93. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, you got 40 weeks to get to 93. Or 40,
that.
yeah, 40 quests.
40 weeks to get to 93, so that's an average of 2.5 or so levels per week. That's a lot of leveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fun, but it'd be a lot of leveling.
It's
So,
like, it reminds me of Eldolith is doing her challenge character of basically a level a day on her burglar deployment while her husband's gone on deployment. So that's like the same sort of like, oh, that's a lot of leveling.
Wow,
Yeah.
It's not it's not as hard in the early levels, but as it gets up higher, once you hit probably 30s, 40s, then it starts to get to be a challenge, and come 80s and 90s, it'll be like, without accelerator.
I find as long as you got good quest content, leveling a day is not bad, but you just have to invest like 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on where you're questing and how fast you can turn the quest in. If you're just going to do it the quote-unquote honorable, not quite so gimmicky way.
not quite so gimmicky way.
But yeah, I mean, in accelerators and stuff would help a lot with something like that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Depending on how crazy you want to get.
Yes.
Anyway. LOTRO Players News this week is brought to you by a solution to too many characters.
Do you have a class commitment problem? Can't decide if a warden or a champion goes better with your current orc slaying mood? Maybe you'd rather romp through the fields singing a merry tune while goblins and wargs explode around you. Or was that last week's focus? While today you'd rather don heavy armor and fearlessly stare down the troll charge over your full beard. Alcoholics Anonymous is here to help. Some programs have 12 steps that include support fellowships, videos, forums, streams, and even podcasts. Here, there is only one simple step for your alcoholic tendencies. Extra character slots are on sale until July 21st, so get your fix today.
And with that,
Great.
That's cool.
let's head into our store sales.
Yeah, so the free sample this week is plus 5% attack damage for 90 minutes. Use coupon code ATK Boost one time per account. Also, 25% off the Bjorning class, the Runekeeper class, the Warden class, character slots, and Slayer Deed accelerators. I think now I'm going to pick up my extra 2 character slots, so I'm up to 20. Also, limited time offer this week, July 15th through the 21st, Steeds of the White City.
And from what I understand, they are not account-wide.
They are not
They are
No,
individual.
Most
And
courses
apparently, at some point, it was a little bit of false advertising. So from what I understand, they are not account-wide. They are specific to the character you buy them.
Alas, well,
Alas, and alack.
it's very unlikely that there will be a course I'm so anxious to get for one character and one character only that I'm going to buy it under those terms. So let's head into our site news. And we had a poll on the question was, which zone most needs a revamp?
Kind of not surprised at how this turned out.
Well, normally at this point we would probably read all the percentage points, but there's a lot of zones. So
I would
I'm
just
just
say
gonna
the
do
first
like the
couple of
top
them.
5.
Yeah.
Agmar is the huge winner with 20%, 84 votes. I mean, Agmar hasn't really been touched that much, but at the same time,
Or at all.
Well,
I
it was
like
actually
Agmar.
revamped. It actually
It was
revamped.
revamped?
It was the first zone to be revamped.
Oh.
You think it's bad now? You should have seen the original version where it was mainly going around killing boars.
Because
Oh, jeez.
killing boars in the epic evil land is the way to cut off their food supply. Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna starve you guys out with attrition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of what makes do you want to read the rest of them before?
Yeah, well,
comment,
before
or-
we come back
okay,
and hash Agmar, we're going to say that Ed Morris came in at second with 9%, 36 votes. Erd Lewin came in at 8% with 32 votes. Foracal came in at 7% with 30 votes. Lone Lands came in at 7% but with only 29 votes. And then it goes down from there. You can totally check it out on LOTROplayers.com, which zone needs a revamp, to see if you want to see the rest of them. But those are the top 5, which I find interesting because Lone Lands got a revamp not too long ago. And
Actually, yeah, I like the Lone Lands.
I like the flow of the Lone Lands. I played it before and after the revamp, and I really like the flow of the second version.
And I don't know, like Arid Lewin,
What could
Maybe-
you revamp on that?
it goes so fast.
It is very fluid. The Elven side is very fluid. The Dwarf side has a bit more back and forth action, especially with
But
like Gear
still.
Quest. But still, I mean, you know, it's only 15 levels. What could you possibly? Well, I don't know. I guess some people might want to revamp that, but I like the flow of Arid Lewin. Forkel,
It's great for deeding. I can understand Forkel.
I can see the mechanics of wanting a revamp, but for the feeling of Forkel, they made it that way for a story decision, I would think. Because, I mean, it's the frozen wasteland of the tundra north, and you're supposed to spend
But it needs swift travel
forever.
desperately.
See,
But
that
then
part...
you miss all the northern lights, though. And the pretty music and the serene snow-covered
You see
mountains.
plenty of
and...
that when you're out killing stuff for all the people who tell you to kill stuff. It needs swift travel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it seems, it definitely does
It
seem
is.
like
It is a long
could-
ride. It's like
It could use
it's like
a little bit of
it's
help
like,
with that.
It's
yeah.
like literally 15 minutes from one side to the other on Swift Horse, or rather on horse that moves faster than your regular horse. Although I
Wow.
bet you if you were war steeding it, you could probably get there faster because war steeds I found out kind of outrun the rental steeds.
They do. Yeah.
Yes, but in Wildermore, I'm not too sure I really want to ride a war steed.
Or Forkel, you mean?
No, there's tons of them in
Oh,
Forkel.
Forkel,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. It's just that normally when I'm in Forkel, I don't have a war steed, so
Yeah, there's
True.
that. Who
Yeah,
wants
there's
to
really
go back to Forkel at that point?
Slight detail.
yeah. Now I noticed that the only zone that got 0 votes was Western Gondor.
I'm gonna say it's kind of brand new, isn't it?
Yeah, but Eastern Gondor is more recent, and Central Gondor is more recent.
Western Gondor was good though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Western. I
that
actually
shows
really
I mean,
enjoyed Western
honestly,
Gondor.
it's probably one of the best zones in the game is Western Gondor.
Well, that's what the people must be thinking if there are no votes for it for revamping.
Well, either that or it was so far down the list, there were so many other glaring, like, oh my gosh, please fix
Yeah.
this. The Western Gondor was like, there's a
Because the
couple
poll
things. but,
was
yeah.
which zone most needs a revamp, and,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I mean Western Gondor is definitely at the bottom there.
But there again, polls like this are always, user opinion. What one person likes about a zone, somebody else can't stand, and vice versa.
Yeah. It's like 16 votes for Old Honorian.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
God,
I would.
yes, those roses really made it difficult for them.
So.
No, it's not that. It's the
Root,
it's
root,
or far
root,
Orient actually. It's the roots.
Root.
It's the roots
Root.
that make that place frustrating. But actually, with Angmar, I can understand it. But part of something that I think makes Angmar so
That's
difficult is that there's just so dang much to do, and so much of it is fellowship and small fellowship quests.
See, that's the thing, is that so much of Angmar, at least in the beginning, it's like questing. This is great. What do you mean there's an elite master here? I can't beat that with one guy. And so there are several quest chains, even in the early part of the zone, that are solo, small fellowship. And you're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it makes sense when you consider it as that used to be.
it used to be
Endgame
level
stuff.
cap, yes. And when
Yeah.
it was in game, that made total sense. Now, they could nerf some of those guys a little bit down to like an elite or a signature.
Oh, just do it with a mini and blow everything up.
Yeah. Or what I'm doing with the warden,
Or whatever, whatever floats your boat.
And I can understand Atmores being there. Actually, like if you read the quest text in the Atmores, on the creep side at least, some of it's hilarious. It's actually really funny quest text. But I mean, nobody ever actually reads the quest text. They just turn in stuff.
Well, they've read it like 50
Yeah.
times, and they're like, okay, ha ha ha, right,
Yeah. But it's like,
okay.
I feel like I don't know about Atmores. Like I can understand it on the one hand, and on the other hand, I'm like, there's so many other things I'd rather see done than revamp the PvE stuff in the PvP zone. Unless this isn't talking about quests.
No, it
Like-
just means revamping the zone. I don't know that Ettenmoors needs a revamp so much as it just needs to be bigger.
Well, Well, depending. Sometimes it's hard to find anybody.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going out to PvP, not to get.
Let's
Yeah.
then head into community events for July 15th through 21st. Anything now? I know that there's a big thing coming up right after this time slot, but anything during the upcoming times, the current time slot that anyone wishes to highlight?
I want to give a shout out to Nibbles and Knobs / Ales and Tales, which is on Monday. Because this week it's at the Nameless Hobbit home southeast of Midwater Marsh. Which, if anybody doesn't know where that's at, it's a little house in Bree.
I know where that is.
And someday I really want the story behind why this house is here.
It's landscape flavor.
What the? I guess I'm not too sure which house you're talking about.
There's a Hobbit house on the south end of the Midwater Marsh. As you're riding between Bree and Lonelands, there's just kind of this homestead that's out in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere.
it's just to the east
It's
of where the
there.
Bree homesteads are.
Yeah, it's just kind of there.
It's just kind of there, and there's nobody there.
Oh, I guess I've never noticed that there was a Hobbit
It's not
house.
it's not a point of interest or anything. You don't get anything popping up on the map. It's just kind of there.
I guess a couple of people that moved out from Staddle.
I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, Ales and Tales is a light roleplay event that Lonely Mountain Band does every week on Landerval, and it rotates its location, and it's been in this location before, because I've actually been to a concert at this location before, but it's back again at this particular spot.
Now, of course, the Lonely Mountain Band is going to be pretty busy next week.
Yeah, Weatherstock.
Yes, because Weatherstock's next week. And so therefore, Weatherstock will be on January, was it the 20...
July.
July
July
what am I doing? Wait, I can't even remember my months. Yes, July 23rd, starting around, well, ending things around 10 a.m., maybe noonish, somewhere around that time. Because we have all that pre-show events in order to get ready before
Right.
the actual concert.
I don't know how much of it I'm going to make this year.
Well,
But I'm
that's
definitely going to be there at some point. So I may end up parking a Hobbit there.
Is parking a Hobbit on top
Yeah,
of
so
it.
I can just log in.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll just have to decide which of my various characters to leave up on Weathertop for.
Man, I can just imagine parking a Hobbit up there, and as you zone in, you realize you're a little bit too close to that hairy dwarf.
Well, it's great because you get so many people up there that you log in and you see nobody, and then you start to slowly see people, and they're all in their underwear.
They're all naked. It's like, oh my gosh.
No, nobody's naked in LOTRO,
That's
but
right. I
everybody's
know.
wearing
It's all
their
that,
underwear.
that funky underwear.
That's when you take screenshots.
Right.
Which is
Now-
LOTRO blackmail project number 634. Like,
Well, I
what?
mean, okay. Consider the real world ramifications of a festival like Weatherstock for a moment. Medieval society. It's not exactly like there are public bathing facilities anywhere, and I know the route up to the top of that mountain does not go through the waterfall. So you zone in, and there's a bunch of people up in their
Just a
underwear.
wave
I'm just saying.
of smell.
It's just like, ho ho ho. Yeah.
Well, right.
That's a mental image you really wanted.
Yes.
Welcome to
let's
Weatherstock.
Let's head.
You should totally go.
Right. Ending, as we discussed earlier, had done a full series on Bingo Boffin, which full quest text reading all the way through. He has 53 episodes because he did 2 episodes on week 51, but otherwise he had 1 episode for each week of Bingo Boffin. So you could watch his series at the PvP Andang channel. Of course, you could also watch the series over at the Piney Needles channel, where I have also done my own version of the Ballad of Bingo Boffin. And Eric, there, did you also do one or just Twitch?
I only twitched it.
Okay. So
I don't plan for the future like that.
Yeah. Question. The one where they got broken up, was the quest needed to be broken up, or did just Endang decide to do it that way? Was
It
it like a really
was-
long
You have an
quest?
option, yeah.
he did it in. He decided to. He
Basically,
decided not to
yeah.
do any cuts in there. He did it all the way from beginning to end, and it could be a pretty long quest if you do it the longest way without ever cutting.
If you decide to go full Monty on it, then you have the option of basically running back through the entirety of the quest chain.
Whoa.
You get to see all
Yeah.
the people again and do all, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
But without obviously saying that, because
Yeah.
this is Middle Earth. You'd be like, hey, Megavonin!
It'd be more
But-
like, hail and wellnut! At your service
so-
and your families!
Yeah.
Oh,
And
boy.
so basically, you have the option to do that, or just click something one time and then the quest is done.
Yeah. I actually on the video I have am showing me go all over the place, but I decided that unusually I did more editing for once than Andang did, because usually on most videos it's the other way around.
So basically, if you were to like want to stream the long version of that, you'd be looking at hours. Like
It took
2,
me about
3
an hour.
About an hour? Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
It
Well,
wasn't bad. No.
fortunately, the time that I did it on my video, I was on a hunter, but since I was RPing, I could not show me porting to all of those places. So therefore, that's another reason why I cut it. But I could probably have done it in a lot less time than Andy, because Andang was not on a hunter, so therefore it took a lot longer. And I did
Yeah,
it
it was-
on another character that was not a hunter, and that took
Sweet.
quite
This
a long
gives
time.
me hope for when the beard kissers get there, because Ballerina is a huntress, and we're gonna be like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
It's, as with anything in Middle Earth, essentially with a hunter. Just like,
Well-
oh, you want to go somewhere fast? I can go faster than you can.
I prefer to think of it like time lapse voyaging, like in the Indiana Jones movies, where they travel by draw and arrow.
Sure.
That's the way I think of it.
All right.
But it's really not that bad, and it's fun to go and see all the people again and
Cool.
stuff like that. So I really enjoyed going and doing it manually, so to speak. Manually.
Cool.
Now, let's have a little thing aside from Lily Kate Buggins, who's doing some screenshots here and has decided that there are now too many rushes in the Frogmores.
It's not so much that there are so many rushes. She's upset because they took out the lily pads, and I kind of can't blame her, because it's one thing to add extra frills, but why would you take out? Obviously, there's frogs, and frogs need lily pads, so the lily pads need to come back to the Frogmores. So I support this 100%.
And there's a lot of things where it looks weird having this much stuff everywhere.
It does.
There is such thing as over detailing.
Well, I think that when you find the frill has gone too far, because there's foliage in areas where it doesn't quite make sense for there to be that much foliage. It's like, what? I was in
like
Bree.
Angmar.
Like
Well,
trees
I
in
mean,
strange places.
Yeah. I mean, trees in the middle of bridges. I mean, well, whatever. But like for example, just Bree. It's a busy town. There are people going hither and thither and yon all over the place. But right out in front of Bree, there's this little patch of grass that's right in front of the mailbox, and it's like overgrown. It's like Barliman hasn't mowed his yard in like a year. And I'm looking at this patch of grass going, how does that even happen in this much foot traffic? I mean, that should be
like in front of the mailbox.
I mean, like in front of the mailbox. Why would this mailbox that would be quote unquote used all the time be sitting in this lush patch of grass that doesn't look like anyone stepped in it? Nobody's walked through it. There's bands that have been playing in it, and it's just like, hey guys, we're evergreen. What you don't realize is it's not real grass, it's plastic grass. Barliman bought it off of some traveling dwarven salesman, and it's like always springs up because he wants to keep people from loitering in his front yard. I don't know. It's just, I mean, yeah, I get it. I get it. There's places where it's like,
There's a tree at the bottom of some stairs in the ruins of Nandaloo in the Lone Lands. Just bizarre. Like the middle of the ruins, halfway, and which the stairs are like up in the air, like on the second level, and there's a tree growing in the middle of the stairs.
oh, there's a tree in the middle of one of the bridges in Elrond's little garden area there down at the bottom of Rivendell.
Yeah, there's some things that are a little. I mean, I think it wouldn't be quite so obvious if it wasn't so big. Like, I've never seen flowers that big. I don't know about you guys, but like 5-foot tall stalks of lilies or what? I don't know what. Not lilies apparently, but you get the idea. Like, wow, this is some serious growth.
Yeah,
here.
some of that foliage is like, whoa. The Lone Lands is another place where I've always found the sparseness of it, but I went through Oscar the other day and I was like, oh my gosh. I like the purple flowers they added, but the grass is like tumbleweed city, man. I kept expecting some hobbit to ride up with a low hat and a leather coat on going, wah, wah, wah. I hear you're looking for some bingo.
Hi.
Yeah, you know, it's just like, what? Howdy there, partner. You're new in these here neck of the woods. Stagecoach will be coming from the Lone Lands in here in about, I don't know, high noon. I mean, it's fun.
Let's head to the family line, which had 2 submissions this week. To bring it to 100, we had part 99, The Battle in the Ruins, and the big 100, The Words of Light. So they made it to 100.
That's awesome. Does 100 like bring it to like a story close? Do we know?
It doesn't look like it.
Wow.
It's still going.
So yeah, I was thinking he was going to be trying to close at 100, but this does not look like a finale.
The Energizer. It keeps going and going and going. That's fantastic. We got to figure out where Tim's taking us.
Probably not to Disney World.
Unless you count the Shire as like
Kansas.
the Shire's kind of like
All right, let's go to the Critters Journey XL, The Assault on Agamar.
oh, it's called extra large. I see, because it's like
It's
multiple
3 panels, and I think Squirrel got a couple of panels backwards.
Oh, I
think-
get it. It's
I think
it's,
panels 1 and 2 are supposed to be switched.
the critters are like all banded together and they're helping a certain animal themed
So-
wizard do stuff.
Yeah,
This,
and I was
yeah.
doing this quest just this week. So
This is the Quentin Tarantino style of telling it this go around, all out of order and stuff.
You gotta
yeah,
piece it together.
'cause-
It's all good.
Yeah.
so he started
Cool.
it on Medius Ray. Okay. Then let's head into Poems of the Pine, and we head into Book 2, The Ride of the Grey Company. The company in gray gathered to journey south to the forges of fallen Holine. There a dwarf did make duplicate rings to confuse the foe of the company's goal. The first friend they found in Dunlin was Wadu, who wielded a weapon of old, but it helped him not, for he was hit from behind by a hostile clan that hated the Grey. In Thorn's Combe we climbed to learn the why of Wadu's woeful death. Instead we found a foggy dwarf whose memories were muddled at Moria's gate. We went below the wintry walls and found the fallen drake. Wadu did waste the wintry drake with a sword from the realm of Rohan. Yay.
I'd just like to celebrate the fact that you used somebody wasted somebody in a poem.
Okay. So I don't mean to rain on your parade or anything, Pine Leaf, but is there a particular reason why you refer to Thor's comb as Thorin's comb?
Ooh, because I had. Yeah, because that obviously wasn't. I better mark that for the.
Mark that for edit.
Oops.
Well, fortunately, we could claim that I believe Thorin was there, right?
I don't know.
Because that is where the dwarves stayed. Because that's why Nara's there. Because
Well, I know
But it's
Nara's
still called-
there. I don't know.
It's still called Thor's Coombe, though.
It's called.
yeah, I know it's called. I just
It's okay.
just being silly there. All right, then I'll obviously have one or two typos to fix there. So let's head into our week in Lotro. And Corvette, what were you up to?
Well, at the moment, I'm still reeling that you said was Wadu who wielded a weapon of old. That's spot on, man. That's awesome.
I'm still happy about waste.
Wasted his
He wasted him with that sword. Okay. Yeah.
That's great stuff, man.
I will never think of that quest the same again.
Wadu wasted that.
Go and
blow.
see the Draco. He got wasted.
He got
I was trying to
wasted.
think. I was trying to think of something that had a W in it.
It works.
That's great.
It
Yeah,
works.
Wadu did waste him. Wasted him good. That's awesome. Well, this week was kind of light on Lotro for me. Discovered that after you go to the Misty Mountains, Bingo falls into a hole and he goes out of sight. I gotta say that Bingo is so deep, he's almost unfathomable.
Ugh.
It's just
Ba-dum-bum.
he is
Wah, wah.
he is a character, that Bingo. So we'll see where it goes. He's what I call a noble idiot.
Noble idiot.
Yes.
You're not
He
wrong.
has
That's a
great
pretty description
great
of Bingo.
aspirations of just truth and nobility and standing up for his friends, but he's not very smart or very wise, I should say.
Well, he's a hobbit.
yeah, he's a hobbit, so there's that. I was adventuring in Moria, and I went to the top of the world and climbed all the way to the top of the Zergziggle, as high as I could get, like on the actual map. And in this frozen wasteland, I found a fire drake of all things, which kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, why is there a fiery drake on the top of this cold mountain where everything around him is like frost themed? But yeah, it was named. It died. And then
That must be the one that was related to the old bounties.
yeah.
It was named It Died.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
There you go.
there's a
that
drake up
works.
here.
While we're being super
Well-
concise and stuff.
It was one of those things where it's like, oh, there's a drake up here. I killed it. I sat around and I kind of looked at the scenery and I was like, oh, that's cool. You can see all the stuff from up here. Oh, it respawned. Kill it again. And then I crawled, came back down, and then I fell down a well and I got to the bottom of Moria almost. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm well traveled now, because I went from the top of Moria down to the bottom on that side of the mountain anyway. So that was kind of see what I did there. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my week in Lotro, the high points anyway. Aerithert, how was your week?
It was actually really busy. So on Monday, my he's kind of gotten less roleplay as I've played him, but the Eriador Pest Control Company went and took care of business in Ered Lewin. Let me Ered Lewin. I typed as loudly as possible. Basically, Eriador Pest Control Company is the kinship that my guardian that I was using for the Guardian Diaries made. He kind of has found his true calling, and so now he'll be just taking care of business. But he has a very specific strategy. He never kills all of them, because if he solves the problems entirely, then that puts him out of business. So he can only go
well
kill
played.
a few. He's only gonna go kill a certain number of them, but, enough to make people happy, and then he'd move on. So
Nice.
Deeding has been roleplay justified. You're welcome, everybody. And then on Wednesday, Bingo Boffined it up with a bunch of other people, and actually Maid of Lions came and watched the stream, which was awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
He
That's
came and
sweet.
watched a few of the early ones, and he was like, I wanted to see you, do the final one too.
Nice.
And he told us a sequel. He sort of did. He was like, "There's a super secret special guest," and we're like, "Oh." So I kind of bumbled around trying to find it, and then until he came back, he's like, "Somebody told me that was mean," and we're like, "Yeah, a little bit." So when you do the final episode of Bingo Boffin, check out your horseshoe. That's all I will say. Use your horseshoe of stuff. So yeah, that was really cool, and it was like, yay, he did it. And then Becca and I actually yesterday finally got our hunters out of Moria for the first time, because then we got to go back because we
going back to Moria.
Oh, no. Are you saying that 3 times I missed opportunities of having something happen with the horseshoe?
yeah. It's okay. You can replay the instance again. Like you can replay the.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You
Yeah.
can.
Okay. I'm gonna make a mental note. When we get to Eregion and we go to that quest, I'm gonna save the horseshoe.
Yeah. No.
Wait.
Yeah. Definitely say the horseshoe. But
Isn't that tied to the epic though?
Yes.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a hitch because the beard kissers are completely avoiding the epic. Interesting.
Well.
Might have to do that.
It's all right. It's all right. So I've got this kind of semi-project where I want to complete each zone, but I'm not going to do it all in the same character because that's a little ridiculous. So as I take each character up, I'm doing it slightly differently. So like my minstrel went through Eregion and did every single quest I could find in Eregion. Actually, not Eregion. Is it Eregion? The one place in front of Moria.
That's
I
Eregion.
always get.
Ended Waith is further south.
I always get Eriador and Eregion mixed up in my brain for some reason. I know the difference. I just mix them up. So on our hunters, Becca and I were doing all of Moria, every single quest we could find. It's taken a long time, a
Yeah,
really long time. So we're very happy to be out of Moria. Mostly, we got out of Moria. And we're like, yeah, yeah.
Buddha's happy too, man. He's ecstatic.
And so it turns out we got to go back. Before we thought we had to go back for real. So we're like, but we're done with Moria. We're good with Moria now. So that was very exciting. So Terry, what have you been up to?
Well, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
double checking because my internet dropped right in the middle. So once again, I missed what Maid of Lions talked about because I missed it on Air's chat. Air's.
Use your horseshoe when you do the last bingo quest.
Aha. Okay.
Gotcha.
Got it.
And now she's gone again.
Dang it.
And
And she's
discovered
back again.
that-
You're back.
You
There
kind of
you're
cut
back.
off there,
Okay.
Terry.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's okay. You're here now, though.
Okay. So Sarissa aided and abetted Sugar Bear in getting her war steed. Because Sugar Bear's a girl bear. And discovered that burglars in the yellow war steed trait line, if you ride in the Rittermark discipline, which is also the little yellow thingy on the war steed, you get a bubble. And it's a fellowship bubble, and it's not only fellowship on the fellowship, it's fellowship on the fellowship's war steeds.
Oh, that's cool.
It's an 18-second bubble with a 30-second cooldown.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
You know, when I read
actually
that, I
really
was not
sweet.
thinking an HP bubble. I was thinking, like, bubbles from blowing a wand and the little bubbles float off. I was
Well,
thinking,
yeah.
how do those work? Like, do you blow bubbles to confuse your foe? That's cool.
No, that comes later. I've got that skill to look forward
Yeah,
to.
That's great.
You can turn your foes into your allies. It's pretty awesome. My other burglar.
Wait. What?
Yeah, one of the other things later in the yellow, because yellow is like the super trickster line.
You can trick
for
them
the war steed?
into like attacking their allies.
Yeah, you can actually trick a foe
glorious.
into being an ally temporarily and turn him against his buddies.
That's awesome.
I know, right? So I have that to look forward to.
Sweet.
One of my other burglars, Stealth Arena, who is my 40 Thieves burglar, she got to level 30 and got a trio of burgs to come troll stomping in the North Downs, which was a lot of fun. Because one burglar at level 30 is not all that impressive. 3 burglars, 2 of them at level 30 and 1 at level 43, kill things really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of amazed at how fast stuff died once I had more people. So yeah, 40, and we're up to like 33 people in the 33 thieves in the 40 thieves. So we're getting up there.
It's getting close to accurate.
That's on
It's
Brandy, right?
well,
Yeah.
yes, and basically the idea is that there's already 40. You just don't see the other ones because they're in stealth. They're
Gotcha.
super stealthy. And then my challenge mini reached level 90, and Flosin crafted her a shiny set of brand new gear that took her morale from 7.5k to 13k. It was a huge bump because the thing
Yeah.
about the challenge mini is not running with any allies, so she doesn't get relics that most people have by level 90. So you don't have little extra morale boosts and things like that. So her jewelry's all updated, her gear is all updated. She's got a new instrument. She's going out and wreaking havoc on a war seed with no li.
Well, I would guess that you went from like sub 85 gear to crafted nice 90 gear, so I could see that. That right there is the level.
Nice level 85 gear too. It's just
Yeah.
the level hikes.
Yes, that stat bloat that happens at 86 is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Inflation for you. What are you gonna do?
And speaking of shiny new gear, Maven was the one who crafted the gear at level 85. So sadly, it's outdated now, but I'm hanging on to it anyway.
Yay, Maven! Yay!
I'm
Maven!
keeping it for sentimental reasons. You know,
Yes.
it's such a lovely craft that.
And
It just
speaking
sounds
of
lovely.
Maven, what have you been up to this week?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Well, first of all, Glordrell, the hunter, has got both her imbued weapons all the way topped off now. You know, they raise the level on imbued, so the DPS is done. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nice.
I will be here all week. Yeah, so I gotta tell you, the Ministerial dailies are the way to go because the scrolls of NFLS scrolls of empowerment are so cheap there. You only need 4 tokens per scroll, so it's pretty easy to do. And then Dresden got his war steed and is now knocking on level 80, but still isn't out of Nankurnier.
No,
I'm
Nankurnier is
determined to
alright.
get Therdred rep, and it just takes you forever to get, even with accelerators, it takes you forever. I mean, I haven't still made it to Kindred, but at least I made it to Ally because there's some very cool, he's a scholar, and there's some very cool scholar stuff you can get at Ally, so he's there. And during which time, I was introduced, I had been in the Pit of Iron before, but I had not actually done the quest there. Boy, if you get homesick for Moria, check out the Pit of Iron.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's like the worst of Moria. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
That's
I think I
fantastic.
did
Tuesday nights.
5
We're gonna do
days.
that. Tuesday night.
You should.
Yeah,
Pit
totally.
of Iron, Heath Fells, absolutely. Be like, oh, it's just like home. Oh.
Been there, done that. Sarissa's through that
Oh.
area.
Really?
God, I gotta tell
I haven't
ya.
done it yet.
It's
Oh,
you
Pit
know.
of Iron is the pits.
It's the pits.
It's
Oh
the
my
pits.
gosh!
Yeah, it
Oh my
really
gosh!
is.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
You gotta have
It
an
is.
iron
It's like
stomach
if
to
you-
make it through there.
If you wanted to remember why it was you were glad you were out of Moria, go to the Pit of Iron. Seriously.
Yeah, pretty
big
much.
time. It's, and I had never done it before. I'd been in thinking, oh, look at this. This is pretty interesting. And then I started to do the quest. I'm like, ooh, this is not interesting. Ooh.
And
Anyway.
if you think
So-
it's bad now, you should see what it was like when they started.
Well, because it used to be Endgame. Was it Endgame at one point?
Well, it was
Or close to Endgame?
Yeah, it was. First of all, it was Endgame, and second of all, there were all these places where you could fall in through the floor.
Oh, my God. Oh.
That would have been lovely.
Well-
Not.
Pine Leaf, take it away. Let's get the hell away from Pit of Iron.
Right. Very well. I finished Bingo Boffin on 3 characters.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine doing it on 3 characters. I haven't even done it on 1.
All right. Well, I finished on 3 characters, all without using a horseshoe. So,
So you'll just do it one more time with the horseshoe. You'll be good.
well, now I gotta find a character that has a horseshoe.
The hunt begins.
Yeah,
Pine Leaf's
because
hunt for the lost horseshoe.
yeah, the hunt for the lost horseshoe. So therefore, that's first thing I did. And also on Brandywine, my warden there reached level 101, and so therefore I was doing some imbuing and starting to level up my spear and javelin there, and I finished up the Western Gondor epic. And then on Arkenstone in my weekly group there, we finished up on the Lone Lands and helped Radagast with a certain situation that apparently some animals were also helping him with. So let's head into the news beyond Lotro, and our Middle Earth video highlights are The Last Goodbye by Phil Holland. Peter
Peter
Hollins.
Hollins.
Peter Hollins, yes.
Peter Hollins has some great stuff. I love how he does some of his fantasy stuff with the way he layers his voice and whatnot. I haven't
Yeah.
listened to this version, so I can't comment on how well it is or isn't good to the Billy Boyd version. But it is very apropos, given how we are saying goodbye to the Bingo quest line. And as Aerithert mentioned earlier, playing this song over the end of his particular version of Bingo, it was just a real sentimental.
Yeah, I
the
was kind
feels.
of. I didn't watch it partially because, like, well, one last goodbye per week is good for me, you know.
It's like,
Well, we
I
are
can't-
also potentially at the end of the Middle Earth video highlight series.
Yeah,
so,
that's also why it's there.
It's just
So
so
folks
many
should
things.
send, if you have suggestions for more Middle Earth video highlights, send them to Andang,
Yeah.
as mentioned in this article, actually.
Then let's head into questions in the dark. And let's see how well you could guess a character that comes from the world of Tolkien.
Dum dum dum.
Okay, I won last time, so y'all got to carry it this time.
Yeah.
I'm taking a nap.
I feel like me starting off with my traditional questions is just gonna have to be a thing. Is it a man? A race of man?
No.
Is it an elf?
No.
Is it a dwarf?
No.
Haha.
Is it a hobbit?
No.
Is it an ent?
No.
Is it a
Person in the armies of Mordor, or what a bad guy, whatever they're called.
No.
Man, Pine Leaf has reached into the obscure box.
I feel
for
like
this one.
I feel like you prepared for this one.
Okay. Is this a person mentioned by name in the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Yes.
Okay. Is this person mentioned also in Lotro?
Yes.
Okay. Is this person considered one of the 5?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not. Oh, I
Is
see
this
where,
person some
I
other
see where you're
sort of
going there
spirit?
with that.
No.
Okay.
So it's not a Valar or Maiar. It's not a man, elf, dwarf, hobbit, ent. Wait,
Think of Mordor.
does this person live in Middle Earth at the end of the Third Age?
No.
So it's not Tom Bombadil. I was like, because he doesn't count as any of those.
Yeah. And technically, Goldberry would be a river maiden, but does that put her in a spirit or not?
I
Well,
don't
we
know.
already decided that it was a male, right? Or no?
Is it a male?
Yes.
Yep, we decided it.
Okay. It's decidedly male.
We could probably at this point say he's male, but we can
okay.
go with it's male.
In the epic struggle of good versus evil, would this be considered a good character?
No.
So it's
So it's an evil character that's not in the armies of Mordor, Saruman. It's not. Trying to think of any evil people that aren't like. Well,
not in the armies of
is it?
Mordor.
Well,
Maybe
it's-
somebody
so
in
it wouldn't be-
Saruman's armies.
Did we rule out Saruman's armies too?
No, we didn't. We ruled out Mordor.
No.
Or
But
is
they're
that-
not alive. Wait, but if they're not alive at the end of the Third Age, then maybe.
Well, they got killed in the war then.
Maybe, yeah.
Who got
Go
killed?
for it.
Who got killed in Saruman's forces?
I don't know. Lots of works at that helm seat.
I know, right?
Any one of the 10,000, you know.
Is this
Steve, the
individual an Uruk?
No.
How many questions are we up to now?
I haven't foggy.
You have 14.
So we're down to
Oh
6.
my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Um,
Wait, so we've got... They're not alive at the end of the third age. So it's an evil being that's not man, elf, dwarf,
well, it can't be
Hobbit.
Shelob because Shelob survives.
and she's a female too.
Yeah. What about the Balrog of Morgoth? Do you think that would count as something evil?
They're primarily spirits though, aren't they?
Yeah, I would think so. They're of the same tier as the Maiar.
Yeah. Hmm.
Flame of unknown. Oh, sorry, that's Gandalf. Never mind. Different guy. Come on, Maven, help me out here. Tap
I
into
have
that.
no idea.
Tap
You
into
guys are
that
really
lower
covering-
brain. Tap into that lower
You
brain.
guys are really covering everything.
No.
So let's review
Okay,
here.
hold up.
So
Pine Leaf, how long have you been planning this particular character?
Since last week,
Probably.
he was like, "I thought I had him with the dwarven one, carved for the win." It's like, all right, fine. I'm gonna reach into the obscure box now. And he's probably gonna say, we're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Probably. So let's review, and
Okay.
Pine Leaf, let us know if we're incorrect at any point.
Evil character, not a man.
Male.
Not a race of man. Not a dwarf. Not a hobbit. Not an elf. So it's an evil character, not an Uruk, which could put it in like goblin kind, maybe an orc, maybe some other evil entity.
Maybe we should rule out goblins and orcs. Because
Okay.
it could be like if it was like the Great Goblin or something like that. That would
Okay,
that would fit the description so
that.
far.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, do we want to take care of 2 and 1, considering that goblins and orcs are basically the exact same thing?
According to Tolkien.
All right. Is this character a goblin or orc?
No.
Well, poop.
I'll say that really is like, I don't know, Southron maybe.
No, because that's a man.
That's a good point.
I'm trying to think of any
Ooh.
other species.
What about? Well, I don't know if you could call it male or not. Is this in? No. He said this character wasn't in Lotro, so
Was not in LOTRO.
not in Lotro. In
they
the
said it
books.
was. No?
Did no? Yes. Do we get the option for a repeat answer? Or
Yeah,
does that
sure.
count as another question?
I do not recall a question that said anything about whether or not it was in Lotro.
That was
Yes,
the
it was
question I
mentioned
asked,
in
right?
LOTRO.
I asked that question right after I asked about the
You
Lord of the Rings
asked.
trilogy.
It
You
was
asked
mentioned in
whether
LOTRO.
or not it was mentioned in Lotro.
Oh.
Aha.
And the answer to that one was yes.
Dang. Okay, so the creature is mentioned in Lotro.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of. I feel like if we can just figure out what the heck species it is, that would help a lot too.
What about something that's not humanoid?
Right. Like what? That's
Ancient evil in Moria,
Ancient evil.
Oh, like the nameless?
or the big squiddy. I don't know if you could call it decidedly male, but Watcher.
Is the Watcher in the water male?
I don't know.
Then
Well, it's
I
not
mean, I don't-
Watchina. I don't know.
Yeah, we asked if it was male, and the answer was yes. So it is a male.
Hey man,
feel like-
Pine Leaf could have us on. I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe Pine Leaf knows that the Watcher in the water is.
I don't know how you would determine that. It's not like you're going to
I
just
don't
walk up
know.
and lift up a tentacle. I mean, that's just
Yeah,
kind of like,
they were
whoa.
busy at the time.
After a close examination of the remains, we have determined that no.
Not all
Um,
tentacled.
There's-
I don't know.
I'm kind of stuck here. I don't know. I'm just like,
I'm going through the map in my mind of Middle Earth. and I can't think of anything that's not man, elf, dwarf, hobbit, orc, or Urukai or spirit of any kind, which includes Maiar, and Valar.
And I'm guessing that would be dead things too. Like
Well,
the evil undead
if
deals.
it's an undead type of thing, like ring race, they would be either spiritual or men. They would fall underneath one of the two.
Yeah, that's true.
Ah, man, I have no idea. Maybe if we ask, we could ask if the character is in Lotro.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, does this character appear in Lotro?
No.
Okay.
Wait, they're mentioned in Lotro, but they don't appear in Lotro. Is that what I'm understanding?
That is what you're understanding.
And we're correct in saying that it can't be a Malar or Maiar or Valar because we ruled out spirit, right?
Right. You rule out spirits.
Yeah, because we can't
Okay.
have.
Yeah, Becky says it's a precursor
Well,
to one of them killing
I can't even think of another
Okay.
species.
How are we gonna do that?
You know,
We
maybe
got
it's
screaming, we got wood.
All right.
maybe it's like a warg or something.
Oh.
Is there any male named wargs
Was it because they haven't been fed?
significant
I don't know,
enough to be
fed
mentioned in
today.
Lotro?
But I'll ask.
All right. I don't know.
I
But
can't.
not in Lotro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, if chat like, that's an interesting question. Is it in the Hobbit? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's see, Bell County and wants to know if it's a troll. That's another option. Well, Gollum used to be a hobbit of sorts,
Or dragon.
or a dragon. We haven't talked about dragon yet. Does that fit everything so far? It does. So
Yeah.
Smaug would fit everything so far. Where the shot? Is it
How
a
many
dragon?
questions?
Yes.
Oh!
Who is this dragon
Just go for
in
it.
the
We
Hobbit?
have like
Just
Yes.
go for it.
Just go for
Okay.
it.
Is it Smaug?
Yes, it is Smaug.
Go Terry.
Jeez,
Why was that
Louise.
so hard?
19 questions to get to Smaug.
I think what threw us off is that in the fight between good and evil, we were immediately thinking this is an evil character when Smaug is pretty much just he wants his gold and he doesn't really take part in the fight between good and evil.
Oh,
well,
Smaug is
he
evil.
does. They were. Smaug
evil.
is mentioned. Is called evil all throughout.
Dragons in Tolkien's lore are pretty much evil.
Well,
Because
not all
they're
of them.
greedy. There aren't evil dragons in Tolkien's lore?
Well, depending on which lore, I'm thinking of Chrysophylax being comparatively chill
Sophilex,
dragon.
yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Well,
I'm not even sure what you
interesting.
said was English.
Tolkien wrote a story called Farmer Giles of Ham, and Giles. I don't know how to pronounce that either.
Okay, but
Giles,
is that
whatever.
Middle Earth?
And it's a glorious. It takes place
Chrysophylax.
in England.
Uh-huh.
Middle
Yeah, it doesn't
Earth.
take place in Middle Earth.
So it's not a Middle Earth lore thing, but so
Okay.
dragons for Tolkien aren't necessarily evil
Right.
in terms of
okay.
if they take part in a fight between good and evil, which
Mhm.
side would they be on? You know.
Well, Chrysophylax was
Ah.
kind of evil. I mean, he was sort of like lazily evil, you know, like he was going to eat the farmer.
Yeah.
Was he more of a
Well,
like a
he's
fairy
preferred.
creature, or was he more of like an evil creature?
He was more of just like he wanted his gold and just was not particularly like I feel like Smaug in his younger days was like Chrysophylax or Chrysophylax. You know?
Chrysophylax.
Boy, that's
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
oh.
Like
Well,
and then he
that-
got old and grumpy.
He got old and grumpy.
Right.
Well, I think as dragons age,
Kudos
they
to
become.
Terry, by the way, for guessing dragon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know,
Yay,
it's,
Terry!
it's pretty common throughout, you know, lore, literature, and fantasy scenarios that the older dragons get, the more caught up with themselves they become, and the more selfish they become, and they're like, I am fire. I am death. I'm the ball of dignity, and you shall bow before me. You know, I mean,
Ball of dignity.
that's just how dragons go. They just become full of themselves. So it's no longer get off my lawn. It's you become dinner, and I'll use you to fertilize my lawn. I mean,
Wow.
Right. We currently have 27 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players to help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with an episode of LOTRO Players News. We did not have any reviews this week, but we do have a featured comment from Lowney on last week's episode of LOTRO Players News. And anybody wish to read this?
I will. Great show again, as always. During the new player question, I was also thinking, and I think it was Big Ed that mentioned the featured instance, if you really want the best bang for the buck as far as marks and medallions are concerned, go with an instance. There are usually a few groups farming an instance just for that purpose, and while it can be kind of boring repeating an instance over and over again, the marks and medallions rack up really fast. Just thought I would throw that out there. Thanks for the time you all put into this show. One last note, totally unrelated. I work in a retail store, always have lots of family shopping. Other day I heard the sound. I would swear it was Buddha. Turned out to be just some 5-year-old kid just getting out of control. Gave me a good laugh.
well, you know, there's some learning there.
On a side note about the marks and medallions thing, that comment reminded me of it. Someone on the forums, in the Guardian forums, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Zonflux or one of the other Guardians that contributes a lot there. Did a calculation of, you know, how of running through these instances, which gave the best marks and medallions per hour, and which gave the best marks and medallions per run. So it's the information's on the forums for that. And at one point it was Sambrog, and then they reduced the marks and medallions out of Sambrog, and then it became something else. And for a while everybody ran that. So like, if you ask around, it's not too hard to figure out which one's the best for doing that. But yeah, that's a good point.
So in other words, you're saying that the one that's the best for marks and medallions is one that's being run to death.
Basically, yeah.
That tends to be the way it goes.
Usually.
Sigh. And we also have an email from Big Ed Mustafa, who writes, "Hi to everyone at LPN. I just wanted to write you and tell you on how much I enjoyed listening to episode 158. It was delightful and informative, and I thought that your guest host, Big Ed Mustafa, was hilarious. Signed, Big Ed Mustafa."
That's great.
This is exactly why his streams are some of the ones that I most enjoy watching. If you haven't had a chance to check out Big Ed Mustafa on Twitch, go do it. Twitch.tv/Big Ed Mustafa, spelled exactly the way it sounds. And if nothing else, just go over there and do yourself a favor and read his info panels. They're great.
And if you would like to be like Big Ed Mustafa and send us an email, you can send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, LOTRO Players @LOTROPlayers, Andang @PVMP_Andang, Arathert @Arathert, Carvet @CarvetLP, Maven @TolkienMaven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin @TerryAdwin. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. On the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy After School. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And every other Saturday after LOTRO Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk, which is going to be returning in 2 weeks. You can join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. That is all for this week. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.